Ladies and gents, we're going to be getting straight into it. It's the CIS qualifiers for the major between Team Empire Hope and Gambit Esports. I'm going to be joined by CartDota for this best of three. Cart, how are you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good, Just looking forward to some good CIS Dota. I've actually been doing a lot of CIS Dota recently, and it's all... I'm not gonna lie, from about minute 5, I'm not sure how it's going to affect it in 7.20, but from about minute 5 till the end of the game, it's literally just fights. It's great Dota to watch.
I mean, I'm sure CIS adapts well to this new patch. Just my first reaction on seeing the patch was that just like there's so many new like buffs, the movement speed buffs, and how it's all percentage based now. Fast heroes like the new Luna ability change with her lunar blessing just buffs everybody. Um, New medallion, solar crest, dazzle, tusk, everything just seems like so much more faster and kill heavy, and everything to do with CIS Dota. So I'm sure all of these teams are very excited to try out the new patch for themselves. And Empire actually already has 2 games on the patch already. Gambit has none, so Empire at least has some rough idea of what should be going on here.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go for some old classics in the Undying, the Morphlin. Phantom Lance are going to be coming out for Gambit Esports, not actually going for that gyrocopter. The Dazzle. What do you think about the new Dazzle? I've been told he's actually really strong with the new Bad Juju.
New Dazzle is very strong, especially with the Necro Book, which is kind of discovered within the past 2 days. You basically have over 100% uptime on Necro Book. Of course, you can't spawn 2 at once, but it's value to have Necro Book up all the time. That was a really fast first phase. Jesus, both teams just either knowing exactly what they want or not knowing how much they can think about it due to the new patch, so they're just going for it here. Undying, not that surprising here. Wisp, the same. Phantom Lancer, did he get changed? I'm not sure. Let me look.
Don't think he did. I think he was one of the few heroes that wasn't changed at all.
He was nerfed a little bit on his Q. And yeah, Phantom Lancer just got nerfed. I'm not sure Phantom Lancer is gonna be too great, just because due to the nature of like the faster games so far. Like most of the games I've seen have been like 30 minutes tops. But the same can also be said for Morphling, and I think I favor PL's early fighting a little bit more. However, Empire do have the Undying, and that is a very scary hero indeed. That hero has been in like all of my pubs. It's very strong. He just like gets in your face now so much with the new Flesh Golem, and he gets 400, 1,000, and 1,600 health for level 1, 2, 3 of his ult. So he just gets like 400 bonus HP, and he walks into the middle of your team, and he's doing constant magic damage and slowing people around him. It's absolutely insane to deal with. So it's a very annoying hero to deal with. Very good for snowballing, just attacking towers, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, he did get a little bit of a nerf to the reincarnation as well, 50 seconds, but I think in the grand scale of things, Undying, like I said, just still a really strong snowball hero, and I hate playing against him, and I'm pretty sure Gambit Esports will hate playing against him in this match too. Going to be getting a Meepo and an Axe ban as well. Dragon Knight, Rubik. Rubik, I've heard, is pretty strong now. In fact, people are starting to bring back the mid Rubik just because of the spell amp.
I haven't seen it yet. I've seen it like 1 pub so far. But I'm not the most familiar with like how strong he is or not. He's definitely stronger. As far as the viability of mid Rubik, time will tell, but we'll see here. I'm surprised the Tusk isn't banned yet for either of these teams, because Tusk is a really strong hero, and I'm sure it fits into Empire's lineup really well here. So if they don't pick up Tusk in like 2nd phase, I'll be kind of surprised that they might not have a Undying player and a Tusk player. It might just be one or the other.
Yeah, and with that, the tag team now, I've seen it in action. It is so, I mean, I'm not going to say it's unbalanced, but it's one of those things. It takes Tusk from maybe a really niche pick right up there, and I'm not going to be surprised in a month, maybe 2 months, if he's picked out a ban every game, because he's so fun to play. He's really strong at the minute as well. He's got a lot of initiation, a lot of control, and he's a really strong hero. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him picked up here at all.
Tiny. I mean, Tusk is like the new tag team is pretty nice in the laning stage, especially. It's not the most OP ability rework that happened in this patch, but it's pretty good. I don't know if it solves some of the other problems that the hero had, but it definitely changes where his position in a draft can be a little bit. And now we see Tiny coming out here. Tiny, he got changed a little bit with his tree grab. You can't use it to deny anymore. It's a pretty big nerf for his laning phase, I think, just because you can't deny and like have all that extra area damage going against like a melee carry if you're playing against Tiny. He lost all his status resistance. He did get some armor though. I'm reading over Tiny's patch notes now. Reworked how Avalanche works. Units in the area are now continuously hit by short mini stuns and damage every 0.3 seconds, and each hit stuns for 0.2. So it's like a constant stun now over the duration of Avalanche, which is 1.8 seconds. Oh god, what? What? Okay, duration increased from 1 to 1.8. AoE increased from 275 to 400.
Yeah,
Damage nerfed a little. That sounds really good. That sounds really good. So it's a constant mini stun and damage every 0.3 seconds, and each hit stuns for 0.2 seconds. So you have 0.1 second between stuns in Avalanche for 1.8 seconds.
Somehow I don't think people are going to be able to react to that. Just a little bit, but
it's only 1.8 seconds, which in the scheme of thing is not the longest stun, but it is a rather large AoE. So there's a lot of that can be pretty nasty, especially with the Undying and the Morphling in this team. And now we've got the Winter Wyvern coming out, so that'll be really interesting.
Yeah, it'd be a great follow-up to the Winter's Curse. Just looking at the Shadow Shaman's patch notes as well, the Serpent Wards now spawn in a circle with a slightly bigger empty spot, which is shown in like an AoE indicator, which means you have an actual AoE indicator to show where you're going to be trapping towers, where you're going to be trapping heroes. That's literally all it is, but it's just one of those quality of life buffs, I think, that makes Shadow Shaman a little bit scarier because the ward trapping is a lot more reliable now. Outworld Devourer, still not sure this is a hero. I'm honestly still not sure this is a hero.
I've seen this hero be really successful in my pub so far. His early game seems quite a bit weaker. My understanding is that you need to have pretty much you'll need to have full mana for Equilibrium to kind of work out for you in the early game, and so it can be a bit rough to deal with at first. But the hero seems pretty good. I don't know if it's completely back yet, but like, his role has definitely changed, and I think he has a place. I think time will tell if he deserves to stay in the scene for longer than about a week. But I think he's definitely a hero. I don't know if he's the hero yet, but he's a hero in compared to just not being a hero at all.
Radiant's turn to pick.
They're going to go for the Spirit Breaker as well. Now, the Spirit Breaker...
That's a good hero.
Yeah, damage off its move speed. The move speed limit has now been reduced. Not reduced, removed completely. The exact opposite of reduced. And Spirit Breakers, I've seen him get up to, I think it was with the help of Darkseers with Surge, but I've seen him get up to about 1400 move speed, and literally doesn't even need a TP to get across the map because he presses his button and snap, he's there. You know, he's just, if you can get that move speed boost on him, he's so strong, and I don't know, I'm not going to say I don't know how Team Empire deal with this, because there's always going to be ways to deal with the Spirit Breaking awards, and just being aware. You've got the stuns from the Tiny, the Winter's Curse as well, but I think he's going to be a real nuisance coming into this early to mid game, just looking for ganks, roaming, and finding kills along the map.
Yeah, I mean, it's... Ooh. The flip side for Spirit Breaker is also true. I was playing a game as Spirit Breaker, and I started charging somewhere, and I just got, like, Lifestealer slowed mid-charge. and I was just charging really slowly, and it was kind of really depressing for a second. It's like, well, this is kind of terrible because so there's ways that Spirit Breaker is more dealable with now because of the movement speed cap removed, and now we have the Arc Warden. So Empire has a very interesting draft here. I think I like theirs over Gambit here. I think they have a more cohesive ability to fight between Tiny Wyvern and the Undying. I feel like they can go anywhere, and then Morphling can come in with just waveform a couple clicks. He has a lot of people on the front line to make sure he doesn't get too bursted. So I think Team Empire is like really cohesive here with what they want to do, whereas I think Gambit's gonna have a little bit harder of a time to like actually engage because they have Spirit Breaker and they have Shaman, but like OD and PL they're like a little bit squishy and they're not the best heroes early. You know, they'll have like I feel like they'll have some problems fighting. They do have Wisp to try to keep presumably OD alive in these fights, and that could be a problem. So like, how well can Empire deal with Wisp? If they deal with Wisp, I feel like their fights are going to be really easy for them. And I think that's about it. The other thing is that once Spirit Breaker charges in, until he's level 6, they don't have a lot of follow-up beyond that. Like, they have Hex, which lasts, you know, a little bit of time, and they have Shackles, for which Shaman has to stand still. And Tiny is like kind of fire and forget it. Like, he just stuns, and then he has another stun in how many seconds? Like 20 seconds. So like, he could get off 2 of those in a fight reasonably, and just like keep running around and keep hitting people. And Undying is going to be spamming his spells, and Morphling is going to be spamming his spells. But like, Gambit does not have that same spam ability. Once they charge, they're done. And then once they charge and Nether Strike, even once he's level 6, they're still kind of done. Like, Shaman's probably not going to be able to run around hexing and shackling the entire fight. And so I have a little bit of concern there.
Yeah. Just looking at the lanes, it looks like it's going to be the PL mid up against the Arc Warden. And I'm assuming one of these supports, like you say, maybe the IO rotates off to the top lane to help out the Outworld Devourer. How much do you like this PL in the mid lane over the Outworld Devourer against the Arc Warden?
I am not qualified to speak on how this new OD plays mid matchups. In general, PL has 9 armor, OD has 7. I think PL definitely has an easier time though, just due to the nature of Spirit Lance and Phantom Rush. He'll be able to get in the Arc Warden's face a little bit better and deal damage, and he also has ways to deal with the Spark Wraith. So I think PL definitely has a better time against Arc Warden than this OD would. So I like the choice. The problem is that you now have an OD in the safe lane. I don't know if that still applies anymore, just because the nature of the hero has changed from like that solo 1v1 dominator in the mid lane, so it might be okay now as a safe laner. But looking at what they've got here, they have a Winter Wyvern and a Tiny here, and Undying is coming up too. So I don't know if they're aggro tri-laning and they want to keep this Morphling solo bottom. I can't imagine they would want to. But in any case, if it's just Tiny Wyvern here, this OD is not going to have a fun time.
Yeah. I mean, I've been seeing it the past couple of weeks that what the CIS teams have been doing. I'm not sure if it's game-wide that all regions are doing it. They do send 3 heroes top to try and secure this the rune. You know, really try and force heroes away, and then it's just an instant TP to the other lane by one of the supports. Maybe the Undying here that TP's off because the Spirit Breaker is going to be bought, and probably the IO goes to the top lane. But that is something that the teams have been doing, you know, to try and really secure 2 runes, and it's just become commonplace now that both teams do it, so there's no real game theory to it anymore that, oh, we could try and take 3 runes. It's just, they trade the runes off, the TP comes out, and then everybody goes about the business.
I mean, if that's the case, they're definitely, if one team decides to break that habit, then you've got one support stuck without a TP, and you can kind of definitely leverage your lanes to your advantage in that way. I don't think that will be the case this game, though, as both teams are trying to just do the same thing. I'm pretty sure Wyvern here is going to go bottom, and then we'll just have Tiny Undying top. Which is, it's okay for the OD here. But we'll see what happens. I would much rather the Wyvern stay top, just so they can Arctic burn the OD all the time, and just make him really sad.
Yeah, Archangel already started his walk. He's not actually going to use the TP. He was already halfway down as the runes were being picked up and secured. And it looks like IO is going to go for the courier snipe. And Advanced Courier is going to be able to get it. Courier's coming out. Oh, little Froggy. Little Froggy. The right clicks, he's got it. It's just going to be a sad, squished little frog. And Kodos, well, that Salve and the Sentry Ward not going to be able to be picked up here. Phantom Lancer, maybe a little bit of advantage. He's actually not bringing his courier out just yet. Just waiting for all the supports to show themselves on the map for the side of Empire.
Yeah, nobody wants to use their TP that early to go to a lane. Because then you're just like committing so hard, and that is playing against any team worth their salt and committing to a lane that early with your support is like, it gives the other team such an advantage. So we've got Undying Morphling. I do like this better than the other lane. And we've got the Wyvern Tiny Top. So it's against the Wisp OD. I think the Wisp will stabilize this lane. I don't think OD is going to be under any serious threat here, but I don't think he can be like harassed out either anymore, just due to the regen of the Wisp. So I think it's just going to be like a bit of an even trade. I think OD will win out a little bit just due to the nature of the hero being ranged and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I think he'll scale better than the Tiny does, but I think Empire's fine with that. They just want their Tiny to have like the initiation item so they can get active on the map, and OD needs so much more.
Yeah, meanwhile on the bottom lane, Spirit Breaker's going to try and go for these pulls, but Archangel's got the decay stacks, and Spirit Breaker needs to be careful because his health, he is a tanky boy, but his health's getting low, and he can just be harassed out of this. He's, like I say, he's going for these pulls, but is this really going to pay off? Is this what he needs to be doing? Because the Shadow Shaman in lane, I guess he is punishing the Morphling a little bit. The right click's going to be coming out though. Dream is going to try and go for this. It looks like Shadow Shaman going to be taking tower hits. Might actually know the Salve will get him quite healthy as that isn't cancelled off and gets himself back into lane.
I mean, it was a little ballsy of the Shadow Shaman, but you have to remember that Shadow Shaman has 88 damage right now, and his attack speed, or his attack range, while his attack range is really short, so is Morphling. So Morphling's is even shorter than Shadow Shaman. So like a Shadow Shaman versus Morphling matchup, especially when he's got level 2 Ether Shock, is not a bad thing. And Morphling doesn't even have waveform. So like it's actually so safe for this Shadow Shaman to just be in the lane, right clicking creeps, denying Morphling's creeps, and just hitting him in general. And Spirit Breaker is just fine making sure that Undying can't interfere, because that Undying is a very big problem for Shadow Shaman.
Yep, well, like you say, it's going to be coming out now, and Dream's health, it just gets halved when that Aftershock from the Shadow Shaman does come out. Spirit Breaker hiding himself, well, not really hiding himself, just trying to get a little bit of maybe a gap in the trees so he can look for an engagement, but Dream just backs himself up. He's got his Tango, gets himself down to 362 health, so he can just strength morph himself back up. The Aftershock, though, cancels that Tango's regen once again, and Dream being forced to really morph himself back up, because one more Aftershock would have been a kill there. In fact, level 2. He's getting close to the Aftershock really finishing him off, and Dream of the Waveform is going to come forward. But Shadow Shaman, the charge comes out now as well. This could be the, well, yeah, the strength, the shackle's going to be cancelled instantly, and now Kingar needs to move himself back because Archangel with the right clicks, with those decay stacks, just going to be right-clicking Kingar down.
I feel like they might have been able to commit to that for the Morphling. The aggro usage of Waveform was really ballsy. It ended up working out fine for them. I think they might have like lost the Shaman during the kill, but I don't know. I guess they deemed killing Morphling wasn't worth it. They just rather keep zapping him and taking his CS.
Yeah. Yeah, just force him through that region. It's actually going to be top lane where we get the first blood, and now Afro Ninja being chased down. The Arctic Burn really slowing him down, but Moon doesn't have the mana for another Avalanche to keep him stunned up. So Outworld Devourer, 200 health, and we'll try and heal through this with the Tangos. Got himself 2 Mantles of Intelligence, I think, on the courier now as well. He's got a lot of items.
He's got 2 Null Tallies, a Salve, and more Tangos, so he's got a lot of regen.
And
he's going to be putting out some good damage now.
What do you think about literally every core going for like the double primary attribute build here, like the Null Talismans, the Braces, the Wraith Bands, even triple Wraith Bands sometimes as well?
The stats are so good. It's like it's actually insane, especially for Agi carries, just because it's like the most logical, efficient play because not only do you get the attack speed, you get agility. So it just all stacks with each other because you get even more attack speed, and it's also damage for you. But in general, like they all kind of got buffed a little bit to give more of your primary item or primary stat. And I think with the way the game is faster, I think people are just enjoying the fact that they can run around with a bit more stats now and deal damage. Like, hang on, let me look up like how null tally and everything changed, because I know it's in here somewhere.
Well, Splinter Blast does come out. Afro Ninja's going to take that to the face. Sayu just trying to do whatever harass he can, but Vanscore as well as Afro Ninja, as it looks like Angel just goes down to the tower, just out of region there, being chased down, just decided to kill himself off to the tower, and we see that a lot actually in the early game because of just the respawn times. So the tower will claim that kill. It's a little bit of gold for everybody on the side of the Dire, but not a whole load.
I mean, you want to know why there's triple Wraith bands. Look at PL. 99 damage. Wraith band costs what, like 500 gold? 520 gold. So for 520 gold times 3, so 1560 basically, you get like 24 agility. 24 agility is a lot of agility. To get anything like roughly equivalent, you need to buy an Eagle Song, which is 3200. Now, of course, you know, there's slot efficiency and everything, but for the early game, like, there's no reason to not have 2 or 3 of your Wraith Band, Bracer, Null Tally, just because the stats are, like, so incredible.
Yeah. I guess it is just the reaction coming out from the Aquila being taken out as well. Oh, looks like we're going to get an Astral Imprisonment on the top lane. Tiny, not the healthiest hero in the world now. Io going to be throwing his balls as well, but the Avalanche Toss combination comes out onto the OD. Io going to try and regen Afro Ninja through this, but the right clicks onto Moon. Moon will be taken down, and Sayo being chased through the trees as well. He's going to be able to get himself out. No Arctic Burn, so can't fly himself over the gap. Vansco, Afro Ninja chasing him down. Sayo trying to juke his way around in the trees, but they've got the vision. One more right click. Afro Ninja gets himself a double. And now bottom lane as well, it looks like there's going to be another fight. The Tombstone's been dropped. What's Shadow Shaman going to be able to do here? All he's going to be able to do is die. And Dream takes himself down to literally no health with that Agimorph, just to be able to really heal up through that.
Spirit Breaker getting that D ward. Yeah, Spirit Breaker, I think just leaving the lane for a little bit. I think he saw that ward that he just dewarded being placed, and he already had a sentry there, so he was ready to go deward that, and Shadow Shaman just too far forward gets caught out.
Yeah, and
Spirit
Kodos
Breaker picking up the haste.
He's gonna go for a charge.
It's gonna do more damage, isn't it? Because of the new charge and how it works.
I want to say yes, but I'm not 100% confident that it will.
Oh, it's gonna tick out anyway, so I guess the answer will have to wait for a future time.
I'm sure we'll be seeing this hero more and more, so we'll get the answer pretty soon. As there is going to be a smoke up between the Shadow Shaman and the Spirit Breaker. So, ward-wise, there's nothing in this jungle. The Spark Wraith that was scouting up this high ground was taken out already. But at the same time, the Arc Warden and the Winter Wyvern still at the top part of the jungle for the Radiant. So, I'm not 100% sure. It might actually be the Tiny being chased down. Moon, was he going to be able to go over here? It's going to be the Io's little spirits spotting him. Yeah, the charge is going to come through now as well. Is there going to be an Astral Imprisonment? Just going through the right clicks coming out from Afro Ninja, but the charge is going to be coming in from the Spirit Breaker as well, the Bolt Charge. Keeping him alive for a little bit, but the charge is going to be there from Kingar now as well. Stuns him up. Is he going to try and throw the Avalanche to get himself away? The top Avalanche comes out. Moon going to try and go to the tier 3 tower. One more right click though. It's actually still going to be split, which not really what you wanted. You know, you wanted to be picking that kill up on a hero, but I suppose a little bit of gold, it's worse than no gold. It's better than no gold at all.
They did get the tier 1 tower mid, and it was pretty huge. From there, they kind of they just went for a smoke. They drew a line. They waited in the trees with Shadow Shaman and Spirit Breaker, so they got their objective that they wanted out of it. The Tiny was just a distraction, if you would, from what they actually wanted to happen there.
Yeah, and now
So,
Shadow Shaman
I'm
has
sure
the
they're
wards up as
fine
well.
with it.
Which
Yeah, you can kind of see they're already trying to group for this tier 1 and just trying to wrest control of the Radiant jungle away from them. I think with the new map, it's I'm not sure yet. I haven't seen it played out enough yet to say if the new jungle is more dangerous or not than the old one. I feel like there's definitely more points of entrance, especially from the Radiant tier 1 side. You just have before it was like so kind of limited as to where you could go when the tier 1 was down, but now I feel like there's just so many different paths and avenues for an attack.
Winter's Curse is going to be coming out on the bottom lane. Looks like Shadow Shaman will be killed off here as the Morphling morphs into the PL as well. Wards have been dropped, but the relocate's coming in. Dream is going to be able to get this kill onto the PL before they chase him down. He's trying to get himself around the trees. The charge coming through from the Spirit Breaker now as well. Morphling, I think this is all but over for him as the Tombstone is dropped to try and save him. He's actually going to be able to get the Doppelganger away, going to try and for the chase, and now the Soul Rip comes through as well from Angel, keeping him alive and healing him up. The chase onto Angel's coming through from the PL Illusions, but back behind the tier 1 tower, they're going to be fading any time soon. And it looks like this engagement, it's going to be a Shadow Shaman for naught. Even the wards being dropped there as well, so they are down now for the next 90 seconds. Cold Embrace just healing up the Morphling now as well.
That was a good hold. They didn't even need Tiny there. I was a bit unsure about that fight with the lack of Tiny just being there.
Oh, Ultimate comes in from the Banish, though. They should finish him off, right? That's enough damage. Waveform is going to be dragging Dream forward. Are they going to be able to try and start onto Afro Ninja? Or has he stepped a little bit too far forward out of his comfort zone? Dream just getting himself back towards the tier 1 tower, but Sayu not really going to be able to help him out, saying, hey man, don't bring it to me, as Dream is being right-clicked down. The Adaptive Strike forces back the OD. The Colin Red's going to be healing him up now as well, but now they know that Sayu's still here with the Shadow Shaman coming in with the Hex, the Shackles. Eventually, they should be able to kill off this Morphling. No way he gets out of this. Still got a little bit of health. The Waveform into the trees, does he have it? But the Doppelganger, and it's going to be Shadow Shaman picking up the kill as Winter Wyvern does use the distraction to TP herself away.
A little bit greedy there from Empire, maybe getting a little bit overzealous, seeing the OD being so low, but Gambit still there, still in full force. Maybe a bit of a bait play. While that was happening though, Tiny is getting his farm. He's pretty poor, actually. That's a little bit of a problem. Everyone on Gambit is pretty high net worth. Sure, Empire has like 5k on the Arc Warden, but Arc Warden isn't the hero they want to have money right now. They want the Morphling to have money. They want the Tiny to have money. And neither of these heroes have an item, like Morphling has Morbid Mask, Power Treads, and 2 Wraith Bands. Okay, cool. Tiny has Phase Boots in a bottle. Like, these are not the items you want your cores to have when you want them to be fighting right now. And I don't think Empire is particularly happy about it, especially when PL is running around with 3 Wraith Bands and a Hood of Defiance. It's a bit difficult to fight into them right now.
Yeah, it just looks like they're going to try and trade tier 2 for tier 2. The Tombstone even being dropped to try and scout out TPs. But this Arc Warden using his double to try and stop this. He actually found up a lot of the Serpent Wards. So the tier 2 tower is going to be out about just under half health on the bottom lane. And it looks like the tier 2 tower on the top lane will be healthy. Tombstone even being claimed there by Alpha Ninja. But PL,
this is interesting.
Through.
OD bought a Drum of Endurance. Is this item back now? Is this item back in fast meta? Are we back in Drum of Endurance time?
I guess. I mean, it's a cheap item, right?
I don't think it's unreasonable, especially for a hero like OD, which is not a very tanky hero. You know, you can see him sitting on 1k HP even with the drums when he's on the intreads. I don't think it's necessarily a bad pickup at all.
No, I like it. You get a little bit more attack speed, like say your intelligence there as well as the mana regen and the strength just to get tanky.
Double damage.
It's a Midas for that OD. That to me signals they're very comfortable in where they are in the game. Like maybe you might see like OD go for a Blink Dagger like he is right now, or maybe like a Dragonlance if he thinks like the fights are like a little bit scary for him.
Yeah.
But right now, just the fact that he picked up a Midas at 14 minutes, he's probably feeling pretty good about himself. He feels like he can't die, and that is pretty true, especially with the Wisp by his side. He is very difficult to kill off, and so as a result, he just feels like he can go for this greedy item and like scale a little better into the late game if they ever feel like they're falling off a little bit.
Okay, well, it looks like they might actually go for Vansco here. Vansco just tethers himself away, and Alpha Ninja playing that safe, didn't want to actually go for the fight, so it was Vansco with a way out there, and now the regen from the Shrine as well. Alpha Ninja just popping the Equilibrium. But the TP's come down to the bottom lane. The wards have been dropped. They're going to be cleaned up by Angel, it looks like, or most of them at least. As the tower now. It's a little bit under siege. The Splinter Blast comes through. It's going to be PL taking one of those to the face, but using the Doppelganger. This tier 2 tower, it's taken harass, but I don't think it'll drop here either. Yeah, TP Tiny. Do they want to carry on grouping up for this? There's still a Spirit Breaker close. He's actually de-warding, but it's only going to be PL as well as the Spirit Breaker now. Shadow Shaman rotating in, but it could be a little bit of trouble if Empire decide they want to try and fight this maybe. As Wyvern just edging herself forward even more. The Avalanche is going to be missed by the Doppelganger actually. Now the right clicks onto Sayu. Sayu's going to have no mana left for this Winter's Curse. Being right clicked down by the PL. It's chased around the trees now as well. That's been cleared off. They are going to be able to get that kill. Daxax picks that one up. And now to change targets onto Angel. He's popped that Flesh Golem, but the chase still comes through. Even using that Sanity's Eclipse to pick up the kill. And now Moon, he wants this kill onto Daxax. He's really low. But the charge comes through now as well. The Doppelganger out. The right clicks as well. Even the relocate in. Io just tethers maybe to the PL to keep him alive. Hex onto the Morphlin, just keeping him locked down. But the chase still going to come through. And the ultimate now from the Spirit Breaker takes Stream up into the earth. The Shadow Shaman with the Shock. But it is going to be at least the Spirit Breaker and the OD going down in that fight for the side of Gambit.
It wasn't a bad fight for them. It was a bit scrappy, splintered at first, but they did manage to keep the Tombstone up for quite some time. And Wisp ended up being really out of position, got bursted, had to buy back to get his core out. And he did manage to successfully. They did buy back on the end, dying as well. But I feel like if you're Empire, like you defended the tower, they used their wards for that and everything. Morphling was farming for the majority of that fight, up in the top lane, just pressuring the tier 2. So I feel like you're not feeling too bad about that. And Morphling is slowly coming back into this game, now getting the Dragon Lance and only about 500 gold from Ayasha, so he's getting to the point where he feels like he can fight, and I think maybe Team Empire might be getting to a point where they feel comfortable, although Tiny is still about 700 gold from his Blink Dagger. Getting him that is a priority for sure.
And just coming into the late game, who do you favour more, the Morphlin or the PL? Because it seemed to be in the last patch that it was PL, Morphlin and Terrorblade were the big 3 heroes, but Morphlin always just seemed to take an edge.
That's a good question. I'm not entirely sure. I do like the OD and the Wisp together. I think they are an incredibly potent combination. And then PL, of course, is also a huge issue, and I don't think they have the most ways to deal with them. Alright, Morphling just died somewhere.
Yeah, it did take about 3 heroes, and the Undying decided to pop the Flesh Golem and bravely run away. But yeah, eventually they do take the Morphling down, and now just going to go for the TP out. Back to the Shrine, it looks like.
I definitely like Gambit more. I think their heroes have more late game utility, especially with the Shadow Shaman and the Wisp. They scale so much better.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, the attack speed on Daxax, I think that made it look a little bit better. Just all those cancelled right clicks from the illusions as well.
0.1 second of not being stunned. Very interesting. But yeah, I definitely favor Gambit better. I think that the Shadow Shaman is going to do way more, and so is Wisp, obviously. Whereas Winter Wyvern can have some clutch ultimates, but this Undying does not scale in any sense of the word.
Yeah.
And I feel like Empire has just been on the back foot this whole game. Like, they never got their Tiny the item they wanted to. Like, they have it now at 19 minutes, but I feel like it's already too late. And they never... I feel like we haven't seen them take a fight on their own terms because Undying being able to do what Undying wants to do. I think maybe the Morphling and the Arc Warden together was a little bit greedy. And with Morphling not getting like the great start he might have wanted, as well with like the Tiny not doing great, I feel like their plan kind of came off the hinges here.
This tier 2 tower, they're still trying for it. It should go down now, the illusions. It's going to be denied by the Morphlin. Just gets that right click in time. But, TPs? Nope. And then Kingar now stunned up by that avalanche, and it's ridiculous looking. The right clicks now as well. Going to try and charge himself away, but the adaptive strike comes out from Dream, and Dream gets the kill there onto the Spirit Breaker.
That's basically just a 1.8 second big AoE stun now. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm curious why there is the 0.1 seconds of mini stun though. Like, is there anything that you can cast in 0.1 seconds of not being stunned? I don't know if you can cast. Maybe you can cast Doppelganger if you're like really fast on your fingers.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've seen it yet, and I can't think of anything else. You definitely can't cast like a Shallow Grave.
A phase shift maybe, if you poke and just bash in that button.
Okay, phase shift, yeah, definitely, because phase shift I believe doesn't have a cast time. I think it is instantaneous. So puck can get out. I think that's about it.
Oh, good. Dota 2 has crashed because it wouldn't be Dota 2 without a mid-game crash. Let's get back into this game. Man, I don't know what it is, but since maybe 2 months ago, I've seen loads of people complaining about the crashes on Dota 2.
My Dota's been crashing too. I wanna point out right now, Gambit's warding is perhaps a bit egregious, but they are on top of it. They have 1 Sentry Ward, 2 Sentry Ward, 3 Sentry Wards, 4 Sentry Wards, all on the map right now, just making sure that Empire has no vision. And not only do they have 4 Sentry Wards, but they also have an Observer Ward here, an Observer Ward here, an Observer Ward here, and an Observer Ward here. So they have a lot of vision on this map, just making sure that Empire has none. It lets Gambit move around the way they want to. And as you can tell, like, it's allowed them to play around in the Radiant jungle an awful lot. Pause. Alright, let's count the wards. 1 ward, 2 ward, 3 ward, 4 ward, 5 ward, 6 ward, 7 ward, 8 wards between Sentry and Obs combined.
That's not how you count wards. Where's your laugh? You've got 1 ward, 2 ward,
2 wards, It's an awful lot of money spent on vision right now, and Kingar just paying his taxes, I guess, buying those wards. Has another Obs and Sentry in his inventory. But yeah, it's definitely been paying off for them with how much you've seen them playing around in that Radiant jungle. I mean, it took them an awful lot of time to take that Radiant tier 2 bot, but they were just able to pressure it for like 5 straight minutes because they just always had heroes there.
Yeah. Just talking about the towers as well, how do you like the shifts in the towers that it's now into the middle of the lane effectively and not over to one side?
For the tier 2s?
Yeah.
Undecided. I think it can be very I think it's very terrifying now if you're defending. And that's another reason I think the game's faster, just because it is like, look at how Undying is right now and where Tiny is right now. Imagine trying to defend into that. Like, someone has to go up that ramp, someone has to go up some ramp, and if you don't, they're just going to be like waiting there, and if you stand anywhere near your tower, they're just going to come up behind you, and you're going to get fissured, you're going to get echo slammed, you're going to get any variation of stunned in a variety of ways. It's scary. Alright, rip Wisp.
Oh, poor Wisp. The heartbreak as well, it just makes you feel so much worse, and all the hearts on the floor, or in the air because he was tossed up in the air at that point, but, you know, it doesn't make you feel good seeing a dead Wisp. Or really good, depending on how you feel about Wisp.
I think Empire is fine with that.
Yeah, no heartbreaks there for them. And it allows now Dream got a clutch TP on the top lane after taking that tier 2 tower. The charge was coming in. He got a TP into a wave, or a waveform into a TP, and just was literally just out of range. The Hex is going to come through, the BKB from Afro Ninja now as well, but the Shackle's going to be cancelled with that Winter's Curse. The right click's coming through. On to Avalanche now, the waveform as well. BKB will be wearing off in the next couple of seconds. He's going to be hexed up as well, as it looks like Morphlin takes the Shadow Shaman's form. Toss up into the eye. He's going to be using the Astral Imprisonment on himself to keep himself healthy, but it will cost now the kill onto Kinga as well, and that's going to be maybe 4 heroes down. Afro Ninja with the Blunt Dagger is able to get himself away, but you go back, clean up these wards, and now the tier 2 tower in the mid lane under pressure, and Gambit can't respond. They've got no buyback, so they maybe have to give this tier 2 tower in the mid lane up, or maybe PL's got something up his sleeve.
I am incredibly confused as to what Gambit thought they would accomplish there. Like, I don't wanna just flame out of pocket without a reason, but I don't think they would have thought they weren't smoked, right? Empire weren't smoked.
No, they just walked themselves up.
I don't see any reason why they thought there were less heroes there than there actually were. But they blinked in with OD BKB. His 10-second BKB, that was a 10-second BKB usage, and he didn't die, so that's okay, I guess. But that's a big BKB usage. And Shadow Shaman, they shackled, they saw 5 heroes, and they were like, we have made huge mistakes, and they just like lost the fight outright. They did only lose 3, which isn't the worst case scenario, and they didn't lose any objectives, but I don't know what they thought would happen there. The good news is that their PL now has a heart, and dealing with him is going to be difficult for sure, just because they have a lot of targets to deal with. They have to deal with the OD and the Wisp, and meanwhile, PL is just going to be jumping around, pressing Doppelganger, using Spirit Lance, attacking their back lines, harassing the Undying. All the standard stuff, so it's a bit difficult for them to deal with this now. Fights could get very hard for Empire. Of course, if Gambit keeps doing that same thing, they'll be just fine, but I wouldn't count on them to keep making those kind of mistakes.
Yeah. And Alpha Ninja, well, he didn't read 7.2c because Equilibrium no longer procs on Roshan. And they might going to try and chase up to the high ground. Roshan's getting pretty low. I think they maybe keep the PL in the pit just to finish this off. Yeah, Undying's not going to be there in time. Neither is the Avalanche. And now the Hex comes through the BKB and pops Solrip, trying to keep healthy Tiny. Tiny healthy, or maybe even that way around. As the Aftershock comes through, they're going to try and chase him down, but the Undying on the high ground now as well. Angel, are they going to be able to pick up this kill? It looks like they are going to be able to take down the Undying. No, the Winter's Curse comes out, saves him, and King, just gets himself away. The Splinter Blast, it's not going to be enough damage to take down the Spirit Cow. They're going to still try and chase. There's going to be the Astral Imprisonment, keeping one hero locked down as they take down the Undying, and now the Winter Wyvern will be killed off. And that's maybe 4 heroes, as the Morphlin is it. Oh, it's just the illusion. It's the Arcwarden illusion. Was
I have not felt this Arcwarden's impact on this game whatsoever.
No, I don't think he's ever been in a notable fight. Maybe defending the tier 2 tower on the bot lane just before it went down. But, yeah, apart from that, he's just been farming and just using his double to push out lanes. It's not really been the most, like you say, the most impactful Arcwarden game I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, maybe in like old patch, like pushing out a lane is obviously the ability to split push and push out lane and have someone forced to go like having to have someone on the enemy team go TP to deal with a tower that's being pushed is one of the greatest kind of like strategic benefits in Dota, right? That's why split pushing has always worked, because people don't want to lose their towers. But this game, Gambit doesn't care that much. The time is only 28 minutes, and I think it's just a result of how fast like the new Dota is. It's just like Arcwarden can split all the livelong day, but until he gets to 40 minutes, nobody's gonna care.
Yeah.
And Gambit just like they don't care that Arcwarden is like pushing out lanes. They don't care that he's getting farmed just because he needs time to come online. Like, this Arcwarden is not a problem. We're not gonna try to deal with this Arcwarden. We're just gonna try to deal with everybody else and then ignore the Arcwarden, which is a viable strategy. I don't know how well it will work out for them in the long run. They haven't ended yet, and they haven't made a high ground siege yet. I do think Empire's high ground siege is a little bit tricky due to the nature of the Avalanche being pretty huge now, and the Winter's Curse, and the Tombstone that you can drop in trees, and everything else that comes along with it. And so maybe it was not the best strategy, but I think it's I think it was valid. So we'll see how that goes. He is going for... Okay, he just bought a crit stick, actually. Probably deciding that he's not doing enough damage, so he needs to contribute a little bit more.
Yeah, and I think specifically, or another factor at least that really hinders this Arc Warden is you have a Spirit Breaker in the game that can charge across map. Anytime you drop or show the Arc Warden double on map, Spirit Breaker just goes and cleans it up. He's really not bothered about getting himself away from his team for a few seconds, because by the time he's got across the map, by the time he's cleaned it up, the charge is back up, and he can just get straight back into the fight.
Yeah, that as well. And Arc Warden's to the point where it's not a problem for the hero dealing with the illusion to take care of. You know, obviously Arc Warden gets to that point where the illusion is just absolutely terrifying to just... Like, the illusion will take, like, 2 or 3 heroes to deal with, and you'll just be getting right-click down, and it's just sitting there, not caring if it dies, because it's an illusion. But, he's not there yet. It'll take some time, and Sheepstick coming out for this OD now. Really big item. This OD is big, and this OD is scary. And Team Empire are going to have problems dealing with him now, sitting on a nice 2k HP.
Yeah, got on the day. I mean, he's used up all his drum charges. Do you think he swaps these drums out for something? He's got the Shivas queued up. I guess that's what the drums are going to be swapped out for now. I don't think you give your Midas up yet, right?
Clearly, he's just going to buy a new drum recipe. And then get all of his drum charges back.
Well, they're going to go for the relocate onto the Morphlin once again, and the Hex comes out. It's being right-clicked down, left, right, and center. And that will be a dead Morphlin in about... twice in 2 minutes, maybe? Maybe just a little bit over, but still, that is going to be a dead Morphlin.
That's a high ground push.
Oh, they dropped the Serpent Wards to take down the Courier. Not wanting that protection to come out, so they are going to be wardless for this push-in, but the PL Illusion is going to go onto this tier 3 tower now as well. The right clicks does the Morphlin buy back for this. There's going to be the Flesh Golem coming out as well as the Tombstone being dropped. It's going to be the Santis Eclipse. They take down the Arc Warden. Arc Warden has no buybacks, neither does the Undying. The Winter's Curse does come out. They kill off the Shadow Shaman, but in the grand scheme of things, that is not the worst thing in the world, since this tier 3 tower will now be put under pressure with only 2 heroes to defend it. I'm not sure Team Empire can keep this from being taken.
That poor Shaman. But yeah, as soon as I saw the 24 install for OD, like, starting a team fight with 24 install already, and still having Sandy's Eclipse available, that's, like, so big for you, just because it's just that much more damage, and you saw that Sandy's Eclipse, it just melted them.
Yep, nothing they could do. The Moon Cold Embrace comes out now at Splinter Blast as well. Are they going to be able to get Moon away from this? He's been banished up. The Avalanche, just that's never not going to be funny. But the right click's coming out. It looks like Moon barely 60 health. No, still gets taken down there by the PL, and the PL wants to carry on chasing. There's going to be the Glimmer Cape onto the Undying. The charge comes in from Kingar. Kingar will be killed off, but it just buys space to take down this top set of racks. And now the tier 3 tower in the mid lane as well. They have the heart on the PL, like you say. PL are going to be sending these illusions in. Does PL want to carry on coming into this? The siege creeps just, well, not going to be able to do anything because of that flux now. But it looks like Daxak wants to carry on going. The Doppelganger comes out. I'm hearing charges on the back line. It looks like they may have been cancelled. As, was it the Morphin that stole the form? It looks like it was the Morphin that stole the Spirit Breaker form. But this tier 3 tower, Angel, he drops his Tombstone. He's going to be chased down. Even the Melania charges not going to be keeping him alive. Now the Flux down on the ground. It looks like they are going to be able to get the kill onto the Arc Warden once again. Buyback available for him now. The Shackle onto the Morphin. Did he try and turn this one around? Well, not with the Winter's Curse on top of them. And the right click's going to be coming out. It's going to be the Banish to keep OD alive. Dream caught in those illusions. The Avalanche to the toss-up into the air. That was actually on Dream, as the blink did come out there from Afro Ninja. The chase onto Moon. What are they going to be able to do here? Drops the tree, but the Glimmer Cape, though, keeping OD alive. And he's just going to be able to heal up. Just waiting for the IO to come back up, and that is going to be Afro Ninja. If they go Shrine here, Shrine is up for them. Probably to pretty much full health, but it is 33 seconds. So maybe they just take it without the IO.
Almost overstayed their welcome there. Almost a disaster. The one thing I really like about the new OD change is that Arcane Orb is Splash now. And it feels like that hero finally has like some sort of farming mechanism, because before, like, he didn't farm. Like, you can just hit one creep at a time, and you just sit there and, like, yeah, you can press W on a creep wave and you get them all low, and then you just walk away. But it just feels so much better to like farm neutral creeps now, and like in the jungle, you can farm something that isn't lane creeps, effectively now. And you can see like he's got quite a lot of CS here, and it's just really nice to have in fights too. I don't know if the splash steals damage as well. Question mark.
I think it just has the splash, the damage splashes in an area. So I don't think it's anything else. I think it is literally just the damage splash.
In any case, it's a lot of damage coming out with the new splash now, because he's always had insane single target damage, but now he's just got so much more.
Yeah, and he's
now,
actually gonna go for the moonshot as well.
I mean, why not? Look at this. Look at how much damage he has now. He's got his Scythe of Ice, he's got his BKB, he's got his Shiva's Guard, he's got a Blink Dagger. This OD is ready to top out here. Get rid of his Midas. Or maybe not even get rid of his Midas. Maybe he'll just consume the Moonshard instead.
It's going to be the Doppelganger in the Blink Toss combination. Morphin is actually wave throwing himself forward as well. Angel being right click down. Once again, the Melania not dissuading Darktax for going for this. The Winter's Curse onto the Io though. This might be the Io going down. Vansko, can he get himself away? As Dream does take down the Shadow Sham, but the Flux comes out now as well. PL doesn't care. Going to go straight into this with the charge. This is going to be 3 heroes down on the side of Empire. Maybe make it 4. As the TP away, Sire will be able to get himself away from that fight. Tiny as well, just runs himself north. But Roshan is up, but I don't think Gambit pretty care about this. They're just going to go for this tier 3 tower in the mid lane. And GG's just going to be called. Yeah, 35 minutes in, Empire give up game 1. Don't think we can fight their ways back from this. As the Wings of Wyvern barely survives till the end of the game.
Alright, the consensus is in OD is still a hero.
Yeah, this Alpha Ninja probably single-handedly changed my mind in that match, because I saw, God, who was it played it? It was one of the WSG qualifiers, and it just wasn't effective at all. Like,
I have not seen this hero lose yet. Strong hero.
Okay, well, yeah, Gambit changed my mind. So that is going to be game 1, guys. It is a best of 3. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break, come back with the second game. Gambit Esports looking to seal it out in a 2-0 victory. Empire, though, can they force it to a 1-1? Maybe look for a game 3. We'll find out when we're back for game number 2.